Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got Monday Night Raw on the road. Now, there's no more exits until WrestleMania. No bathroom breaks, no rest stops. It's just road and then WrestleMania, Larson.
If you're hungry, if you have to use the bathroom.
Too bad.
Tough.
Too bad.
Tough. No stopping.
I think we got some combos in between some of the seat cushions in the back.
There might be some Funyuns smashed between the center console and the passenger seat.
Oh,
you dig your hand deep enough down there.
Why would
you might
do
get
that?
some stale Funyuns.
No. I'm good. I'm good till we get to Mania in late April. We had another, I thought, killer Punk Roman promo tonight. And we also have a new men's Intercontinental champion in the form of Cero Miedo. Penta got that title after Judgment Day was cursed from Danhausen tonight on Raw.
Yeah, it's good to see Danhausen's presence leading to things happening. You know, in AEW, the curse thing was always kind of played for laughs. And while it was still kind of played for laughs in this particular bit, now the curse has some measure of weight to it. At least people think it does.
It gives Danhausen something to do.
Exactly.
I liked how they handled his backstage tonight. I thought it was well performed. It was funny, and you know, immediately he's going to have a match, probably in the short term with JD, long term Dom. This might be. He might. Well, no, Dom already has. Who does Dom? I think Dom has Vikingo at Rey de Reyes, if not mistaken. And then
all right.
Yeah, I think he's got Vikingo. That's why Vikingo attacked his mini Vikingo, which apparently is that kid's name that I mentioned when I was talking about. It's actually just mini Vikingo. So I don't know if a Danhausen feud's going to take place in AAA. Or if it's going to stick around here on Raw. I think they're going to give it. It's already like the #1 shirt selling on WWE Shop right now. So, and also, he brought the artist that he used for other stuff into his WWE merchandise fold. Real art on the shirt.
Good. That's great to hear.
Steven Larson approved.
Yeah. I mean, Danhausen has had over the last few years some of, if not the absolute best pro wrestling merchandise you could get. And so that's great that he understands this is important. And so I'm going to bring my person with me to make sure my merch is up to my standards. That's awesome. That's great.
So the WrestleMania picture, which up until now has been a little on the blurry side, is slowly coming into focus. It seems like we might have Raw Tag Team title match for Mania.
Yes, which is the match we mentioned in the 10 matches that should be happening at WrestleMania. It's the Usos versus the Vision.
Look at us. Look at us.
We did it.
They're listening. We did it. We did do it.
Hey, did you hear Corey said about the Vision? Some people have been saying that they're snake bit.
Yes, I did. We said that.
There's a couple instances where I'm like.
And I forget, I'll be honest with you, I forget if I mentioned it here or at Wrestle Juice, but I mentioned JD as being one of the first people Danhausen would have a match with, just because he's like a bad guy and he's a good match guy.
Yeah. No, I wasn't here. So it must have been on Wrestle Juice.
Must have been on Wrestle Juice.
Somebody's listening. Somebody's watching. Hey, let's get back to the Punk Roman segment, because that was the main event segment.
Yeah.
Gave him plenty of time to talk a bunch of trash to each other. Some good barbs, good insults there.
I thought the barbs were solid. I thought I was tickled by Roman constantly calling him Phil. He seemed to really like to lean into, oh, Phil.
Yeah. That's the best part of this feud, as far as I'm concerned, is Roman calling Punk Phil.
Yeah, it's good.
Did this segment add enough in terms of story? Like, it's still pretty much, I don't like you. Oh, you, from Roman's perspective, and Phil's like, oh, you've been chasing me your entire career. That's still all kind of what it is. Yes, it's a bit more personal because they're talking shit to each other.
Yeah.
But it is I don't know, Roman's probably going to be, what, 3 more episodes of Raw, maybe 4.
I was about to ask, what's the over-under on like 2.5?
Like, can they get by exclusively on just a lot of shit talk without developing the story a bit more?
Here's why I think they are planning to. Because they've already built it, as they're billing it based on name value alone. Yeah. Because they're billing it as the greatest WrestleMania match. The one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time.
Yeah.
And so given that they're already using that as the marketing, then I feel like, yeah, they're going to see how personal they can get. And granted, there's a lot of good material to work with. We will get some pull-apart brawls.
Oh, indubitably.
I do not expect any twists and turns beyond this guy got the best barb in tonight, like Punk did tonight. And I'll be honest, they've all been entertaining. I mean, dude, in terms of like twists and turns, what can you really do? Bring Seth Rollins kind of tangentially into it, even though he's doing his own thing with the Vision right now. Clearly, it's going to be Braun Breaker. He stomped the shit out of Paul Heyman. I thought that was a pretty fun segment because you see where it's going. You know, like as it happens, like, oh, Paul's looking around like, why is everybody leaving me? They're idiots. They're just taking the bait. And, but unless there are some twists and turns, it's just 2 dudes. There's not a lot you could do at this point. And so you are relying on historically, one of the best promos we've ever had, CM Punk. And over the past couple of years, since he's found this character, Roman Reigns is a good shit talker. As we saw tonight, he can at least hang with Punk. Sometimes he can get Punk's better. And Punk, as in his own words, tried his damnedest to bury him tonight with his words, and he left him speechless. Is that enough?
That remains to be seen, because if they're going to rely predominantly, if not exclusively, on marquee value and crap talk, it better be some top-tier crap talk consistently every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so like to contrast this, last year's triple threat involving 2 of these dudes, plus Seth Rollins, did have twists and turns. It was story.
Yeah, it did.
It was
story.
It
did. It's like, who is Heyman going to align with?
Yeah.
And Seth early on was obviously foreshadowing Heyman turning on both of them and aligning himself with himself. So, yeah, there was a lot of twists and turns and whatnot. And so far, and I don't disagree in terms of twists and turns. Like, what can you really do other than bring Seth into it? Probably.
Here's one thing they could do based off of what we heard tonight: Roman Reigns getting in CM Punk's ear, saying, "You're hanging out with my cousins backstage. They can't wait to shit talk you once you're gone, or once you're out of the building, or out of earshot. When I show up." Punk says, "Well, you're alone all the time. I am hanging out with them." You could do something where the Usos are involved. Punk goes to them, "Hey, this has been sort of living in my head rent free. Have you guys talking shit about me? What's going on with this?" Maybe he gets a little bit on the paranoid side. Maybe Roman brings some heat next week that drives Punk to that. And the Usos at first are like, "Hey, we're neutral in this, much respect." But then, and this would be a heel thing, they're not going to do that because they're right now they're the good guys in a Vision thing, but it'd be kind of cool to have them do it both ways.
Yeah.
The Usos, feed Punk a couple of super kicks, and then he's got to figure some out. There's still 6 weeks left to Mania. There's still a lot of time left.
There are. One of the things that Punk keeps hammering home is, Roman, you can't do this all by yourself.
And that's another thing. Yeah. That's another thing. So I think that there's, at the very least, the question of, hey, they could insert some story into this. If the trash talk is this good, it's... Well, let me ask you this. Are they just sort of relying on the trash talk and the intrigue of, is Roman going to win this? I don't think Roman honestly has a chance because he's not there.
Yeah.
So and Punk, as illustrated in this, is... So I just don't think it from like that point of view would really make sense for Roman to win this. But that being said, it's Roman Reigns. You cannot,
you can't count him out.
You cannot count him out at all. So maybe therein lies some of the intrigue, like, oh, who's actually going to win this? But like, even if Roman's around for 3 more weeks, Punk still has to do stuff. Maybe that stuff is with the Usos. Maybe there is, some subplot here with that, which could add some intrigue. If Jay and Jimmy blast Punk, hey, that ratchets things up a little bit,
Yeah, that would be that'd be an interesting take on things, that's for sure.
Other stuff regarding WrestleMania. We already know Rhea Ripley's taking on Jade Cargill. She's going to be on SmackDown on Friday to sort of officially begin her road.
Oh, they seemed like they already kind of began the feud on social media.
Oh, was there shit? I saw some shit talk, but it involved Jade and Chelsea Green.
No, there was some stuff, some crap talk back and forth with Jade and Rhea.
Okay. Did it get like heated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like what? What was said?
Kind of like it got like the last 2 comments. Jade says something along the lines of essentially saying that Rhea was politicking with creative a lot, and then Rhea responded something like, "No fun, no friends." Something about disparaging somebody or something, disparaging people or something like that. I can't remember the exact verbiage here. I'll pull it up rather than just kind of guessing.
Yeah. I don't really, that stuff is kind of like whatever to me. So yeah, she'll be there on SmackDown. That'll be kind of interesting to see.
Oh, this is what Rhea said. It says, "Not having fun, not friends, learn to work and never lie to defame someone's real human character by breaking the 4th wall." That's what Rhea responded.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully they do some cool shit on television. Not just
because Jade said, Rhea said something about all that Jade does is talk, and Jade says, "Talk like the hours you spend talking to creative."
Oh, okay. As I mentioned, also we have a new Intercontinental Champion in Penta.
Yeah. Did you see the Turbo? I know you start a little later, so you can fast forward through commercials. Did you see the TurboTax commercial?
I did. Where did I say? I think I saw it on YouTube actually, and it's hilarious.
It's pretty great.
Did they got voice actors for the singing, right? Or no?
No, I think that's LA Knight singing. I think that's Penta singing. I think that's Stephanie singing.
LA Knight would not shock me. Penta just sounds like Penta. And for Stephanie, I was like, did they get somebody? But LA Knight, this dude has been on the grind for 20 years. You cannot tell me that LA Knight in LA did not have singing lessons.
Probably.
I guarantee you he did.
Yeah, he might have done some community musical theater for all we know.
He might have. Anyways, we have a new Intercontinental Champion. Dom still has the Mega Championship. Do you think Penta's going to walk into WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion, or are they just going to do the old flipperoo back onto it?
I mean, I suppose it's possible, but yeah, I think so. I think this is a situation where Penta's going to have this title for a while, and now if Finn and Dom are going to feud, it's just not going to be for the Intercontinental title.
That being said, who's Penta going to face at WrestleMania? Are we going to put a ladder in the middle of the ring and get 5 guys out there?
Guess what? They probably don't even know at this point.
I got 2 words for you. Ladder war! Do a ladder war.
Yeah, do a ladder war. Yeah.
Penta loves the ladder. Do that.
He does. He's the hardcore guy from TNA. Of course
he's
he loves
the hardcore guy from TNA. Exactly. Also, we did have confirmation that we're getting El Grande Americano versus the other original El Grande Americano.
Yeah, they're in the 4-way at Rey Reyes. Yeah,
that's
both of them
right. You got to think that's going to be in advance of a proper WrestleMania match. I don't know that they would do mask versus mask at WrestleMania, because I feel like with original coming back, he's got a lot of juice, and I feel like they're both on the come up, especially in AAA, where Ludwig is a good guy and original is a bad guy.
So here's the thing: if they do mask versus mask, Ludwig has to win. Because you saw the backstage segment tonight. Look, Chad Gable's a fantastic performer.
Yeah.
In terms of doing the Americano thing,
It's Ludwig.
Ludwig laps him.
Laps
him several times over.
He does. And now he's got like the dark attire, the dark El Grande, which I like. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. This is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, besides like an AI promo, that we've seen original talk since he's come back. And he was doing his, his Chad Gable as Americano shtick that he does. Yeah. I would not be upset if they did mask versus mask just to get that thing off Chad Gable and get him back to being Chad Gable.
Yeah.
But given that he's just returning as original Grande, it makes me think that they might have, this might be more of a series and we weren't going to mask versus mask until a little bit later, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
Who knows?
Yeah. We're going to talk about the Women's Intercontinental Championship because we've got a good old gauntlet match next week going down to determine a new number one contender for that. But first, Larson, we've got some sponsors for the show this week, so let's go ahead and talk about them.
Let's do it. This episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. International Women's Day is coming up on March 8th, so let's all celebrate the women in our lives. I want to give a shout out to my incredible wife who's put up with me for more than 20 years, even though I'm sure there were a lot of times when I wasn't much fun to be around when I was dealing with severe anxiety in my mid-20s. But thanks to her strength and support and the help of a therapist, I was able to learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety.
With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally. And BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can put your focus on your therapy goals.
All you got to do to get started is fill out a short questionnaire that helps identify your needs and preferences. And BetterHelp's 12-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. But if you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recommendation.
Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/raw. That's betterhelp.com/raw.
And this episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by Prize Picks. We love ourselves some hoops here at Going In Raw, and I myself am a massive stats nerd, and I feel like I found a way to merge these two passions with Prize Picks.
Prize Picks makes every dunk, diamond board that much more exciting. And right now you can shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Getting started with Prize Picks is easy. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in.
You can pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more with Prize Picks. How you play is up to you. Say you think Wemby is going to have a huge night. Do you want to pick more on points, rebounds, and three-pointers made? With Stacks, you can do that and pick all of them in the same lineup. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the largest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code GOINGINRAW to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code GOINGINRAW to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, man. So, as I mentioned before, we talked about our sponsors. AJ Lee, Intercontinental Champion. She came out tonight, delivered promo, said, I'm here, I'm going to fight people.
Yeah.
Which is typically what you do as champion. And so there's going to be a gauntlet match to determine the number one contender.
Yeah, it's Bayley, Lyra, Asuka,
Ivy, Io.
Yes.
And is there one other person or no?
I think that's it.
You think that's it? Hey, look at us. Good job. So, yeah.
I mean, you had Bayley and Lyra talk about it in a backstage segment. We saw Io exit Adam Pearce's office as Bayley and Lyra were going to talk to him. We had AJ approach Kyrie after Asuka bullied her about not getting into the chamber match. I guess at this juncture, I mean, I guess I know, granted, all the other people talked about it, but given that AJ approached Kyrie, you'd think Asuka would have the advantage maybe in terms of how they were setting things up, don't you think?
It's going to be Okay, number one, is this gauntlet match, the number one contender, going to be a match that happens before WrestleMania? I would think so.
It seems like it.
I would think so.
It seems like it. The way AJ was talking about, I want to be a fighting champion, that leads me to believe there's going to be multiple defenses before Mania.
So we'll probably end up having Becky versus AJ at WrestleMania. Becky was nowhere to be found tonight.
So I'm guessing it'll probably be, I'd be surprised if Bayley wasn't one of those matches.
Yeah, so that was going to be my thing, is I could see them doing Bayley because she's on kind of unstable mental ground in general. Like she was anyways for a while. I don't know, even if she's doing that still. But this could be the kind of thing that could drive a wedge between her and Lyra. Because it doesn't really seem like they're in the tag title picture right now. Although they're good guys and Lash and I are bad guys.
I mean, it doesn't right now, but if they have a multi-team match at Mania, I mean, it was supposed to be Lyra and Bayley last year.
Yeah, true.
Contending for the tag titles, and then, Bayley got taken out. Becky replaced her. Lyra and Becky end up winning the tag titles. So it might be an interesting kind of bit of symmetrical storytelling if this year you have Bayley and Lyra going into Mania competing for those titles and maybe even winning them. That'd be great.
That'd be cool. Yeah. So it could be like a loss brings them closer together.
Yeah.
Or goes the opposite direction, drives them apart. I don't know. With Mania, there's going to be 14 matches at Mania. Yeah. And there's limited space. So I don't know if they would do a one-on-one there with Lyra and Bayley or just throw them into a tag cluster, Yeah. But there's a lot of tag teams right now.
There are a lot of tag teams, and the fact that they're all together still, the only reason Ria and Io aren't going to be is because Ria's going after the women's title.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all of the teams they've built up over the last few months are all still together.
I could see this. Maybe it is Kyrie. Her and AJ could have a fun match. She loses, of course. Asuka gets pissed. Or they do a thing where Asuka demands Kyrie's spot and somehow gets a match with AJ. She loses, takes it out on Kyrie. I feel like Io is going to come to Kyrie's aid when Asuka goes. She's already going overboard, but super overboard in her abuse of Kyrie Sane. Io saves her, and then you do Io Asuka at Mania. I mean, dude, that's a fucking match that I would
be fantastic.
Die to see. Like a WrestleMania match between those two. That would be fun. And the feud before it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That'd be good shit right there.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
So yeah, I see those as all options. I kind of feel like those are all options. Everybody is an option except for Ivy Nile, probably.
Yeah.
She'll be like the first. She'll be like the first out.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Anyways.
Maybe.
So let's talk about that Punk Roman face-to-face. Actually, before we do that, I want to bring this up. I am eagerly anticipating a new piece of entertainment video content, Larson. I'm not talking about a new show on HBO Max or a new show on Paramount Plus, which I think all they have is Star Trek and Yellowstone. I'm anxiously awaiting the Melty hoodie review from Mr. Dope.
Yeah.
I don't know when we're getting this thing or even if it will happen. This might be the biggest piece of lost media. It might end up being the biggest piece of lost media.
Yeah, it could be.
But Mr. Dope is going to have a review air here at Going In Raw of the new Melty hoodie. Now, you've been giving me so much static about my take on this Melty merchandise.
You gotta separate yourself, I think, to a degree from your personal animus towards your creations here.
Yeah. I'm an artist, Larson. And you know how artists are. I know you've known some. We are hypercritical of our own stuff.
That being said, you created this to sell to the friendos, so you should promote it as such.
Right. However,
that's my point. I'm not telling you can't dislike it.
I need to be honest. I can't lie to the people.
Be honest with yourself and say, all right, I got to put my feelings aside for now.
Oh, wow. The capitalist is coming out.
And promote this like the best stuff ever.
So you can get this right now at friendoshop.com. You can use promo code Friendo2026 to ensure you do not pay full price.
Don't pay full price. Is there a way we can cancel orders and anybody doesn't use the promo code and demand they use the promo code?
No, that's on them. We get that extra money. So
don't pay full price. Don't do it.
But if you do at this point, that's on you, and we're going to get that money. Friendo
now the capitalist is coming out of you, Steve.
Friendo, you tricked me. FriendoShop.com. Code Friendo2026. And then here's the real good stuff right here. This is the actual stuff that you can actually
it's all good stuff.
Wear out and about, preferably at a bar. You saddle up, you get your load on, you go home with a 6 to 7 out of 10 because of this merchandise, the hats, the shirts, the jersey, balling all day long. You got the phone cases as well. FriendoShop.com. Friendo2026, or else we're going to get that extra money.
Don't pay full price.
Don't pay full price.
Do not.
I don't want that extra money, but if somebody's going to shove it in my pockets, I'm going to say, hey, you're invading my personal space, but I'll keep that money.
Don't pay full price.
Don't pay full price, but go to friendoshop.com. And then, of course, a new month is here. It's the second of the month.
Cash your checks and come on.
Which, of course, means, well, this is it's the first business day of the month. So, yeah, this would be the day you can actually cash your checks and come up.
That song was on the radio today.
They did it today?
Yeah.
You can't know.
I think they did for the reason you just said. It was the first business day of the month.
That's okay. I kind of love that. It just seems like a very Sacramento thing for our radio station to play the first of the month on the second of the month. But if they did it with a sense of irony, then it's okay.
Then there you go. See.
Which means we have a new predictions challenge.
But I've also heard on the 18th or the 23rd of the month too. So
okay, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's a good song. It's the most Sacramento thing. Hey, we keep our team. Hey, we made it kind of into the play. Oh yeah, that's right. We just absolutely dismantled the team. Now we're literally the worst team in the league. God, I haven't even seen what's going on recently, but it's probably not good.
It's probably a whole lot of no good.
So the predictions challenge is going down for AEW's Revolution. That's what it is. Which should be a really fun show. Yeah. It's also going to be a really long show with a lot of matches, so a lot of opportunities for point. And so, given that our AEW audience here is a bit smaller than our WWE audience,
sure,
opportunity arises.
Yes,
for people who are into the AEW big time. You might edge out the people who are nothing but WWE sweaties.
Mm-hmm.
Might find a good opportunity to win there.
AEW fan
wins again. So all you got to do is click join right here, youtube.com/Steven Larson, or you can go over to patreon.com/Steve and Larson, and click on the Friendo Club setup there, and there you go. That's how you do it.
Yep, that's it.
Anyways,
shall we talk about Raw?
Dive into this Roman Punk face-to-face. So Roman comes out first because he's the challenger. He says, no, wait, did Punk come out first?
Mm-mm. No, Roman comes out first and says, Indianapolis acknowledged me. Then Punk's music hit. He comes out.
Oh, yeah, Roman didn't say shit. Okay, that's what it was.
Well, he just said Indianapolis acknowledged me.
Yeah.
And then Punk comes down the ring and he says, Punk says, why are you so angry? It's less an interruption and feeding your ego. I'm going to do this. I'm acknowledging you. I'm acknowledging Roman Reigns. But hey, I hope you came here to do more than that. We aren't wasting money on one of your dates for that. That could have been a tweet.
Yeah, referencing a tweet that Roman put out there saying that, what was it? The
Champ looks tired.
Champ looks tired. That's what he said. And Roman says, my tweet hurt your feelings, Phil? Seems like you have thin skin, Phil. Punk says, I don't care about that. I don't get mad or hold grudges about stuff said about me on podcasts by people with punk derangement syndrome, perhaps. He says, your tweets were accurate. I'm tired. This is a good thing I got these bags under my eyes because for 7 weeks I got to carry your bullshit until WrestleMania. Hold on. Is it great to be alive on a Monday night in Indianapolis or what? He says, we're on the road to WrestleMania. He says, we have history, don't we? He says, this is where the Shield debuted, where I brought you to the dance. And Roman's like, correction. You might have brought the other two. Not me. Punk says, all right, well, we remember things different. He says, maybe I didn't pick you, but you definitely picked me. He says, look at us now. Look at us. He says, main event of WrestleMania. Who'd have thought? He says, if you ask me, I've already won. Last time you and I are face-to-face, you said you hated me. He says, I got you where I want you. I made you this emotional lady. He says, you hate me. I'm in your head. As empty as it is, I'm under your skin. And here to tell you I can see right through you. Roman says, yeah, I do hate you. But this is what you're missing, Phil. He says, if you didn't have that title, I'd be indifferent. You wouldn't even be on my radar. Let's remind you, we brought you back to entertain the 30 to 40-year-old virgins who live with their parents, to sell some shirts, to maybe draw a house in Chicago. But we didn't bring you back to be champion. That's above your pay grade. Anyways, he goes on, and Punk says, we, he's like, oh, because Roman goes on to say he's going to retire him. He's going to send him back to NXT to teach the next generation. He says, then you're going to send him up to me and I'll snatch every one.
Smash every one of them, yeah.
He said, it's funny because he said smatch. And I noticed that Garrick's here has snatch, but I think he meant smash.
Smash, yeah.
So Roman tries to leave and Punk is really taken aback by this. He's like, no, you can't just walk away. He says, are you done? I'm not. And you're going to listen. You said a bunch of shit that we need to cover. He said, first, we. Who's we? He said, you're all alone. You're alone on your bus in your room. Your cousins have left you. There's no more Shield. You don't even have a wise man. I took him away from you. He said, you're all alone, and I love it. He said, it illustrates your entire career. You chasing me. I'm the champ. You're the main event at WrestleMania, not because you won the Rumble, but because I'm the main event. This is my show. I run things. He says, I'm in the locker room hanging out with your cousins and you're alone. He says, you can't get things done on your own, can you? You hate me, fair enough. But one thing I won't let you do is disrespect me. He says, you're going to retire me? Brother, you just made the list. And he tried his damnedest not to do it like Jericho.
I know.
But you got to wonder if they're sort of planting those little things here and there.
Yeah, that's a very particular phrase to say. It's something that's not normally in Phil's, like playbook.
And he's not one to misspeak or to accidentally steal somebody else's wildly over gimmick.
Yeah.
There could be something there. He says, he said, you went from getting beat at WrestleMania. Now I'm going to bury you. Then you won't be alone because I'll bury you next to your father. Ooh. Roman was shook on that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho confirmed. Is that going to be on a bunch of YouTuber thumbnails tomorrow? Jericho
Probably.
Confirmed?
Probably.
Maybe we should do that.
Maybe. Ria had an interview on the stage. So Jackie introduces her. Ria makes her entrance with Io. And Jackie asks Ria about facing Jade. And Ria says, it's been a whirlwind of emotions to say the least. I mean, losing their titles on SmackDown, it sucked. It really sucked because Io's been so many things to me, an opponent, a tag partner, and most importantly, my best friend. So I want to thank you, Io. Thank you for supporting me. And most of all, thank you for pulling me out of a very dark situation. And Io says, you would do the same for me. You won the chamber, showed everyone why mommy is always on top. I'll be all right on Raw. You go handle your business and win the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And Rhea says, thank you. Says, I will do it. And I'll do it for you. So hold down Raw for me because this Friday, and she says this directly to camera. She pulls the camera closer. I'll be seeing Jade face to face on SmackDown and come WrestleMania. I will be leaving your new WWE Women's Champion.
So you texted me.
This Liv promo.
Right after this Liv Morgan
drove me
promo.
Nuts.
So, okay, hold on a second. I'll let you say your piece, and I'm really curious about this. Because when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. I noticed right before the last shot, she was in like 2-3-5. It was like super letterboxed. And then the next one, it went up to 16-9 with no letterbox. Was that your main point of contention?
It's not just that. They shot it with two different cameras. Neither of them were balanced for exposure. One was super bright. It was like the typical TV camera. And the one they had kind of 3/4 on her was the 24 frame ones. And it wasn't exposed to the same level as the other one. And they were cutting back and forth between these two shots of different camera quality, completely different exposures. It was driving me crazy. And I didn't notice the aspect ratio. That was probably changing the whole time too.
They went from a 30 to a 24, like that cutting back and forth, really?
And the 30 is super bright.
I'm really surprised I missed this. I don't know.
I am too.
Yeah, I don't know how I did. Wow. Okay.
It was jarring. I couldn't really pay attention to what she was saying because, like, how did this, like, make it past QC?
Yeah.
Like, at least get the two shots so the exposure's comparable.
If you're going to do a 30 and a 24 and one of them, like you got to dude up, make one look like it's all scratched up. You put it in black and white. You do something.
There's got to be a drastic difference.
Strobe effect.
Drastic difference. This just looked like, all right, they had 2 cameras and no one bothered to make sure they were set anywhere close to each other.
But then how does an editor get their hands on this and it doesn't dude it up? That's crazy.
It's probably because they was, all right, you got 20 minutes to put this together.
You're probably right about that.
That's probably what it is. So they had enough time to cut it and not, do color timing on it.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, watch it again.
It's weird. I do not know how I missed that. That's crazy.
I don't know how you missed it either.
I don't know, man. Liv looked pretty good, though. I'll tell you what. So anyway, she said, hey, Stephanie, I'm sure you have some questions about last week, so I'm going to explain myself because it's when she popped her with the mic. She said, you tried to embarrass me, thought you knew everything about me. And she's like, you know what? You're right. I am privileged. I got signed at 20, and I had it so good. You got rejected on your first tryout. You grew up in a mud hut for 10 years. She says, you know why? I'm a star. I don't dwell on my past. Unlike you, that's not the only thing I could talk about. But I see a bit of myself in you. You're talented. You work hard. You're a great champion. I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you the privilege of stepping in with the greatest Rumble winner and crown jewel champion. You get to step in the ring with the Liv Morgan, and you're going to learn everything you need to know.
She should have said, watch me.
Watch me.
Watch me.
She should have done like the Steve Brule thing. You got a 24 here, a 20, and a 30 here. Start doing this shit. It'd be good.
So, Penta won the Intercontinental title tonight. So, earlier in the show, we see Penta talking to OG Grande. OG Grande says, Hola, Pento. I'm so excited for your match tonight. But when you win, I'm first in line. And the Penta's like, yeah, sure. So, Ludwig Americano, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate walk up to OG El Grande and ask him, how long do you want to keep up this charade? And OG says, not only am I El Grande Americano, I'm the only El Grande. Ludwig El Grande says, we'll see March 14th, Rey de Reyes. Gable says, we don't need to wait. Hide behind your little amigos. I'll talk to Pierce, and I am seeing uno of you tonight. So later on, we have that match. We'll talk about that later. But first, Penta gets a promo.
Yeah.
He says, Dom, when the bell rings, I won't just fight. I'm coming out with all the energy and the love and heart of my people. Nothing and no one can save you because it's only you and me in the ring tonight. Penta makes history by becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. So then we go to, later on after commercial break, we come back. We're in the clubhouse. And Liv is talking to Raquel about challenging age. Oh, Raquel's in the gauntlet.
Okay. I didn't see her. You're probably right about that.
Pretty sure.
I was looking at the graphic really quickly, so I don't,
So Liv tells Raquel, hey, you should challenge AJ for the Intercontinental title. Go to WrestleMania as champion. So she's like, yeah, good idea. So Dom asked JD, hey, you going to be out there for my match? And Finn walks by and asks how he's feeling. He goes, well, I'm not happy with the result, but I'm at peace with how it went down. And Dom's like, yeah, whatever. Now that you're over losing to Punk, can you focus on my title defense? And Finn's like, we talked about this. You have to do this by yourself. And Dom's like, no, I mean, when I win, you're going to come celebrate with me, right? And Finn says, you can count on me. I'll be out there to watch you win. So before the Intercontinental title match, we have Pierce backstage on the phone. Turns, and there's Danhausen.
Mm-hmm.
And Danhausen says, Stone Cold Steve Austin, nice to meet you. And then Adam Pearce says, no, Adam Pearce. He goes, Adam Pearce.
I like this part because Danhausen says, as you saw, Danhausen debuted to thunderous cheers and applause.
Yeah.
Taking the piss out of the fact that he was getting booed.
Had a laugh. That's good.
Yeah.
So he says,
go ahead. All right. He says, so here's a list of Demandhausens. He says, I want a blimp, a Hall of Fame induction this year, personal assistant, one of those Triple H pointing at me photos. He says, and my face and all the trucks. And he gives them a list, but it's like wet paper towel.
Yeah.
And Pierce is like, why is it so soggy? He says, it fell in the toilet, which is funny. And then Judgment Day comes by, introduces them to Danhausen. And then Pierce leaves. And then Danhausen says, hello, Finn, Dom. And then JD says, I already hate this guy. And so Danhausen wants the gold. So he starts to grab at the IC title. And he's like, can I have this? And Dom says, this is as close as you're going to get to this. But not so nice to meet you. Beat it before something bad happens to you. And Danhausen says, bad happens to me. You are cursed. Does his thing.
Yeah.
And then they laugh it off. They sort of, Dom turns to laugh at JD and Finn, and then they turn back around and Danhausen's gone. Yeah. And Finn started doing his comedic looking around, wondering where he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then we had Penta versus Dom.
Curse worked.
Curse worked.
So towards the end, Dom yells at JD, go grab the hammer. So JD goes to Timekeeper's area, grabs the hammer, and as he's about to approach the ring, Finn takes it. He says, no, he wants to do it himself. Let him. And Dom's like, oh, I didn't necessarily mean it like that.
He never said that, really.
No, he never did. So then Penta takes out Finn and JD with the tope. Kicks Dom away, goes for Destroyer, but Dom instead goes for another 619, misses. Then Penta hits the Destroyer, covers, gets the win.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. There was, I want to say it was Meltzer. And this feels like one of those grain of salts, like super grain of salt, but it'd be a funny conversation.
All right.
According to Meltzer, there are some higher ups in WWE creative who were not interested in bringing in Danhausen.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Those higher ups' name is Bruce Pritchard, right?
Road Dogg.
Road Dogg might like Danhausen. Road Dogg might be like, oh, the kids like this guy. I better hitch my wagon on him.
Maybe, or maybe it's a situation where he at first doesn't get it, then, works them a little bit. I understand it now.
Does Triple H find Danhausen funny, or is he simply doing this because he doesn't want to miss out on Danhausen?
I would guess more so the former, because I think, obviously Danhausen was hurt for a while in AEW and was not on TV at all. So the buzz that he had for that spell when he was in the Independents and went to Ring of Honor, that is past. Through no fault of Danhausen. This AEW didn't utilize him at all.
Yeah.
He was hurt, and then he was on the sidelines because they extended his deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that buzz just is not what it used to be. So I don't know if it's a situation where Triple H is looking at Danhausen like, oh, this guy's got so much buzz right now, we got to bring him in because he's the buzz-worthy wrestler. I'm
not necessarily thinking that, he's going to miss out on... because obviously he's not going to go to AEW. He was just there. They didn't do shit with him. He's not going to go to New Japan. I mean, he could go to New Japan. That could be wildly fun. Put him in House of Torture. I don't know.
He'd take over for Evil's gone. He'd be new leader.
When I say he doesn't want to miss out, I mean more like he knows he might not get it, but he knows there's probably an audience for it.
Oh, I'm sure he's probably aware of the buzz that did exist for Danhausen.
But does he find him funny?
Yeah, I think I could see him.
You think so?
Maybe.
I don't know. It's not juvenile enough.
Yeah.
Even though there's a toilet joke.
Yeah.
I don't think it's juvenile enough.
It could be. It could be. I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I think the younger, I like Rob Fee probably thinks he's funny.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people in the writers' room. They're like, you got to sign this guy.
That are like younger.
Yeah.
Well, you got to sign this guy. Yeah. I don't get it, but okay. I like his presentation.
It could be that.
I think he probably likes the presentation.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I wonder if, like we saw tonight, if there's whether it's Triple H or other people see how he could be utilized in telling stories. Having someone that goes around and curses people and seeing how it plays out tonight.
I hope we get some footage of Triple H arranging his entrance.
Of course, yes.
That's what
I see him like doing the choreography of the dancers.
I know. That's what I want to see. I really want to see that. Because I feel like Triple H can do something with him, like a behind the scenes thing for a laugh, and it'd probably be pretty funny.
Yeah.
And he'd probably get that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, it always, because he's got like such a horrible sense of humor, that Triple
he does.
H. It's so juvenile.
It really is. But yeah, I don't know. I would think that maybe, I don't know, Triple H is maybe somewhat aware of maybe some of the inspirations behind the Danhausen character.
Yeah, it could be.
And maybe he doesn't, maybe not exactly get the humor of Danhausen. Maybe he gets the inspiration.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
So we mentioned
maybe
this
he just
already.
saw his T-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. Like, wow, this dude's got great shirts.
I mean, no lies.
These are going to sell a ton.
Yeah, that could be, and they are now.
Yeah.
So we had a bit backstage where Asuka is just ripping into Kyrie. And then AJ Lee comes across her after Asuka's done talking shit. She's like, "Hey girl, good?" And then Kyrie is she's just frozen in fear. And then Asuka screams for her. So AJ comes out for a promo. She says, "I'm not sure how we got here. I know I came back to WWE purely just to snatch the pretty hair from Becky's big ass head, but I ended up snatching her title too. But I got to be real, I didn't know if I could, or if I could go, rather." She says, "You believed in me, had my back for a decade. Remember me when some wish you'd forget. And he made me believe I could fight the very best. That's what Becky Lynch was, the best of the best, but I beat her." She says, "Now that Becky's behind me, WrestleMania is ahead, but I'm not waiting until then. I'm going to be a fighting champion. It's been 12 long years since I held the title. I won't take it for granted or waste any time. So a couple of weeks ago, I kind of mentioned I wanted to get my hands on some women in that locker room. Now I have this on my shoulder. I know they want to get their hands on me. So ladies, show me what you got." So then we have the participants of the gauntlet all sort of doing various things backstage. We had Bayley and Lyra backstage. Bayley's like, "I feel stuck. I don't know about you." Lyra's like, "I know we had no luck lately, but I can't sit back and watch you miss WrestleMania again. AJ's a new champion and wants challengers. Why can't it be you? I saw half the women line up. Why not you?" And Bayley's like, "Yeah, how about you do it too? We'll both do it." So they went and did that. As they go to Pierce's office, Io Sky is walking out.
I like that they walk in and Lyra says, "Scrap Daddy."
I know, that's good.
That's great.
I know.
We had the Vision kicking off the show. And Paul Heyman, says, usually this is the part of the show where we welcome you to Monday Night Raw. We're live in Indianapolis. I hate to spit on everybody's parade, but we're here tonight to talk about Seth Rollins. And then he talks about, they all do, Seth denying Logan Paul his win at the Chamber, even though he eliminated 3 people from the match, a feat only Brock Lesnar had accomplished prior. Well, that's not exactly true. Shayna Baszler eliminated everybody that one year.
She did eliminate. Yeah. She did.
Anyways, then Austin Theory gets the mic. He goes,
"Oh, dude,
here's my theory."
Oh no, that's going to be his thing. And he kept
pressure, and he's got theorems about everything.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
It is. And I texted you this, and I have no problem saying on camera. I feel like Triple H gave him some direction, and he took it way too literally.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Listen, you're going to be the pressure, all right? You're going to be I want you to be relentless. You're going to be the pressure." It's like, "Oh, the pressure, yeah." And so he's like, "I'm going to say that in my promo," and then but then he started off. He's like, "I need a new phrase. I've got a theory."
It's so bad.
And Triple H just sits there chewing ice, being like, "All right,
like, what are we going to do with this guy?"
Exactly. I can't let him go. There's something in there, but we can't get it out. We have no idea how to get it out.
So he talks. It's just word salad for the most part. He passes the mic to Logan, and Logan mentions, "Hey, I eliminated 3 people."
By the way, when he gave the mic to Logan, it was as if, because at one point the crowd was razzing him and he had a really weak comeback.
Yeah.
It was as if he couldn't wait to get that mic out of his hands. It was like burning his hand.
It felt like that. Yeah. So Logan talks about Seth denying him the win at the Chamber. He says the rest of the show isn't happening until Seth comes out and answers for it. So Pierce says, all right, we get it. You're upset. You're not holding the show hostage. And, and Pierce says, and you're not interrupting my show like you did on SmackDown because you're the ones that laid out Jay, right? And Heyman pushes back on that. He says, we had nothing to do with it, but if you want, we could plead guilty in advance for what we're going to do to Seth Rollins. And Pierce says, glad you brought him up. I need to have a conversation with him because He can't do anything stupid. He's not medically cleared yet, so please leave the ring. Let me continue my broadcast. So we had one masked man jump over the barricade, and then another, and then another, and then Logan goes chasing after one. Theory goes chasing after the other. And then finally, Seth sneaks in, disguised, with a chair, hits Heyman with the chair, and then hits him with a stomp. My question is, Adam Pearce was just out there.
Yeah.
Did he turn around and leave and just not hear anything like the crowd making a bunch of noise and think to turn around to see what was going on? We never see what happens. He was on the stage. He was just there before the first masked man appeared.
I don't know.
Why wouldn't he just stay there and be like, Seth, we need to talk?
I don't know. He's got a lot going on. Like, all right, well, I took care of that business.
Maybe. So we come back from commercial. We see that Heyman's got a bunch of blood coming from his nose. They load him up to an ambulance, and then Theory and Logan are like, we got to get in the car. We got to follow the ambulance to the hospital. So Logan sends Theory to go get the car.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the other way around. Logan gets the car. Theory waits. SUV pulls up. Theory's about to get into it, but Jim Uso's in there looking for a pound of flesh for the Vision, probably laying out Jay.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So he attacks Theory, throws him into an ambulance, some road cases. He makes his way over to the driver's side of the ambulance. Yeah. LA Knight.
His only appearance tonight.
I know. Says, nice work. I'll take it from here. Don't worry. I'll get him the help he needs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he drives off with Heyman in the ambulance. And then we have Jim Uso versus Austin Theory. This was lame because it ended a really quick DQ because Logan attacks Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, this wasn't great. And then afterwards, we had Jey Uso's return.
They lay out the Vision, yeah.
Like for the second time in a night, they got like, they were like, oh, they're looking in the wrong direction. His music hits. They're looking at the ramp behind him. He sneaks in some crutches,
man.
Same exact tropes, yeah.
I mean, it's like that thing I sent you earlier with the 21 instances of someone being disguised in a hoodie and a mask.
Well, now they've got, 5 more?
Yeah, there's at least 3 tonight.
The Uso ones were hilarious, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are great. I like that he just went back, a couple of years, because,
there's 21 instances of it.
Mm-hmm, I know, yeah.
There was at least once where Sammy didn't have a mask, but he had the hoodie on.
Yeah, my favorite album was just Drew, because his hoodie was open and it was like,
oh, it's because Joe Tessitore said it's Drew McIntyre in a hoodie.
He's the most obvious man.
I know,
because his hoodie was number one. Even if the hoodie was closed and he was wearing a mask, he's so big.
Yes.
But also he had, he didn't have the mask on and he had the jacket open. It's it's just Drew McIntyre.
See all that beef?
He's not hidden. He's not hidden in any way, shape, or form. There was no need for him to have the hood on.
No. We're getting Rusev versus Oba Femi next week. Rusev interrupts a recap of Oba defeating The Miz on SmackDown. Says, I'm tired of listening about Oba. I'm tired of waiting, and here I am. I know you're back there, so hear this. If you want this fight, I want this fight. How about we fight right now? He says, I'm not moving until you show up. The second time someone tried to hold the show hostage. Says, go ask your daddy, Adam Pearce, if it's okay. So Oba makes his entrance. Gets in the ring, gets a mic, says, you spend all this time talking. Why don't you come in here and make something happen? Rusev shrugs, leaps off the announce desk, gets in the ring. They start fighting. Keep in mind, during this whole thing, Oba Femi has dress shoes on.
Yes. Yeah. But his fists were taped up, though.
Yeah. But he had, jeans?
I think he had dark jeans, yeah.
Yeah, and dress shoes.
And a merch shirt.
And his merch shirt.
Yeah.
So they start fighting, and it ends with Oba clotheslining Rusev out of the ring. And it was announced later on that match is happening next week.
I like the notes from Chris Garrix here. As Oba shakes the ropes, warrior style.
Yeah. Yep.
We also had Dragon Lee get unmasked by Gunther.
I swore this match happened before, and then when Cole said, this is the first time they ever wrestled, I won a cage match, and yeah, they hadn't wrestled before. It's just been fights.
Okay, this might I'm horrible at this. Did Gunther fight Rey Fenix?
I don't know. No, Ray's on SmackDown.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't think so.
Like, I don't know. Maybe he roamed around.
Maybe, but I don't think so.
Did he have a Mysterio match like recently? Didn't he?
Gunther? No.
No.
If he had,
there was the promise of like a Dom match or something, or a Ray match or some shit. Maybe I thought that Dragon Lee would be the gateway to Ray.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, that's what we talked about. No luchadors recently?
Oh, he defeated El Grande Americano.
No real luchadors?
He's been wrestling Sami Zayn and Javon Evans on the house show circuit. Gunther has.
I wonder how hard he goes with the chops on the house show circuit. Probably not very, huh? At least not with Sammy.
Let's see. Some house shows against Penta.
Nothing, huh?
No. Nope. Anyways, he was wiping the floor with Dragon Lee. Hit 2 nasty power bombs. And it's like, nah, that's not enough. Throws him out to the floor. Hits a apron power bomb. Power bombs him onto the announce table. Looking for another one. Then Dragon Lee reverses that to a code red. Gunther tries to get back in the ring. Dragon Lee kicks him off the apron. Hits a suicide dive. Hits a Destino on the floor. Lee rolls in, and then Gunther just barely beats the 10 count. Lee hits a few strikes, a lariat, takes down Gunther. He's looking for another Destino, but then Gunther counters that with a sleeper, rips the mask off, so Dragon Lee has to tap.
It's going to be Gunther and Ray at Mania then.
Feels that way, yeah.
Yeah, that seems right. Ray's going to come out, oh, how dare you disrespect Lucha Libre.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be Rey Mysterio.
Oh, man, it should be Dom. Be like, nah, you're not retiring my dad. I'm retiring my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Dom versus Gunther. That's what it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
As mentioned earlier, we got OG Grande taking on Peter Dune. OG El Grande gets the win, even though Tyler Bate tries to interfere quite a bit. In the end, Chaos Theory, OG El Grande gets the W.
Correct. Would you like to answer some questions?
Let's answer some questions, yeah.
Let's answer some questions, Mr. Lee. All right. I like this question. I don't know if I'm going to have an answer for it, but maybe you will. Reaper Red. What's a wrestling question you never want answered? Mine might be, what is the real attendance number for WrestleMania 3? I always want it to be 93,173.
For me, it's did Sid crap his pants at WrestleMania 13?
You don't want confirmation on that?
I think it's funnier if it's just kind of out there in the ether, but no one knows for sure.
That's a good point. I like that.
Mr. Sinister says, what are your thoughts if Drew loses the title this Friday on SmackDown, then Foley crashing out and challenging Nick Aldis to a match at Mania? How about this? What if
I love all that.
Out? What if he crashes out? But if he has a match at Mania and he's not champion, it's going to be against Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, it is.
Nick Aldis is guest ref.
Oh, I like that. He wears like the blue shirt with the bow tie, and he says, I'm going retro.
But no sleeves because he's probably still super jacked. Yeah.
He towers above most of the wrestlers.
I know. He's huge. He could still wrestle easily.
I at the very least, I want Cody to get the title back this Friday because we'll be doing our review and we'll get numbers.
Yeah.
That's what I really want.
Cruz here asks, should Io turn on Rhea at Mania and cost her the match? No.
No. Never turn either of these people against each other. No. The crowd doesn't want to see that shit. No, absolutely not. Dan Matushek says, with Ring of Honor now filming in Jacksonville's local PBS station, do you think it harkens back to an era of territory wrestling on local TV stations?
Yeah, it's the Studio Wrestling Show. Yeah.
I love that studio wrestling.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Josh M says, why do people think WWE can get Bad Bunny at Mania? They get Bad Bunny when he wants to. Don't they know the world runs on bunny time?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Well, it's they are hoping he will elect.
If he can make himself available to do some wrestling, that he would choose WWE to do the wrestling.
So they're hoping just to get a whiff of that Bad Bunny right there, man.
He means one of the most famous people in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Would you like to blindly power rank?
Sure.
We'll do this one.
Oh, hold on. Let me get my... Which one is it?
Lehue wants you to blindly power rank. I love this. Influential guitar players.
Oh, how many?
7.
Okay. I like it.
Number 1. Jimi Hendrix.
Gosh, I don't know if there's anybody in the history of guitar who's been more influential than Jimi Hendrix. Maybe Eddie Van Halen, maybe. But people to this day still rip off Jimi Hendrix riffs. I got to put Jimmy at 1.
Jimmy number 1.
Yeah.
All right. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Number 2. Dave Gilmour from Pink Floyd. Dave Gilmour.
Very different guitar player than Jimmy. Very different. More understated. Very melodic in terms of his solos. He
Very
can
grumpy.
Sing like the melodies of his solos.
Very grumpy, that Dave Gilmour.
Seems like
him and the other cat.
Roger Waters.
Yeah.
They're always at odds.
If you ever watch their Live at Pompeii special, which I think is just on YouTube.
Yeah. I
used to have the DVD. It's terrific. It's really cool. You get to see him in the studio doing all sorts of crazy shit with all sorts of knobs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they just come off as not arrogant, egotistical at all. Just like grumpy.
Yeah.
Like they've been through some shit.
Yeah. I'm going to put Gilmour at 5. I think he is relatively influential, but I think people really like his guitar tone.
Okay.
I mean, his soloing is good, but I think his guitar tone is probably, it's like people, there's whole like websites that detail how he got his tone. So I think that's what people really
interesting
are into.
Next up, I know you're a huge fan of this guy, Ted Nugent.
7. Trash. Trash.
What if he seemed like a really good guy?
His music's still not very good.
What if he was like a huge Save the Trees guy? Would that get him to 6?
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
His music's still not that good.
Taking the well-rounded approach, I see. Next up, Santana.
This is about influence, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously a really good guitar player. I just don't know how influential he is. I think more people these days know about him because of the Smooth song than anything he did in the 60s or 70s.
I think you're right about that, but I suspect, and I have nothing to base this on whatsoever, that the fact that I know his name and he doesn't sing, or at least I've never heard one of his songs where he does sing.
Yeah.
I could be fucking completely wrong about that. People will probably correct me in the comments. But like, from what I understand, he's just a guitar player.
Yeah, he is.
And he made his name on that, but without, you know what I mean? Like, that to me, he had to have been influential in some way, shape, or form. But I don't know. I'm not doing the list, so I don't know.
But I can't put him again. I don't think I can put him above Dave Gilmour, so I got to put him at 6.
Okay. All right. So what do you have left?
2 through 4.
Okay. Next up. I think this... Well, we'll see. We'll see. Next up is Prince.
Oh, Prince is great.
He is great.
One of the most underrated guitar players ever.
Yep.
Just underrated musicians. He played all the instruments on most of his early albums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gosh darn. I mean, if you're just talking about like influential musicians, he's pretty high up there.
So I will say this. I stumbled upon this because Adam Ant, I was going through an Adam Ant phase.
Yeah.
And he dabbled in the Minneapolis sound.
Yeah.
Which is Prince, you know?
Yeah.
So much stuff in the mid to late 80s had that sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of the sound of Prince, that was really influential at the time.
It was. I think he's fantastic. I'm going to put him at 3.
Okay.
In the event that Eddie Van Halen's on the list, because Eddie Van Halen would probably be number 2.
Okay.
You don't have most of the 80s guitar players or early 90s without Eddie Van Halen.
What do you have left?
I have 2 and 4.
Okay. All right. Next up is, in fact, Eddie Van Halen.
Number 2.
I was trying to see if there was a way I could get these two to flip. But regardless, at number 4, we have Mike McCready. Which I love because it shows that Leahy was paying attention when you said you do not like Mike McCready.
I don't care for Mike McCready.
I was so hoping he'd be even higher.
Talking about someone who rips off Jimi Hendrix riffs, Mike McCready.
I was so hoping.
Mike McCready's solos are mostly just Stevie Ray Vaughan solos, although I guess there's a lick from the Alive solo he ripped off from Ace Frehley from Kiss.
Yeah.
So, although I think Gene Simmons told the story. No, Mike McCready told the story that Gene Simmons told him that Ace stole that lick from some other song.
Okay, all right.
So, I think that's what it was.
There you go.
All right, you want to power rank sandwiches? 7 of them.
Oh, dude, I love these. Yeah.
I'm hungry too, so most of these sound good.
I had a sandwich tonight.
Yeah, what kind of sandwich?
You know that Walmart rotisserie chicken?
Yeah.
It was still good.
You know, after you mentioned that on Sunday, I went and got myself a rotisserie chicken. Not from Walmart, but I got a rotisserie chicken. I got half in the fridge still.
I was freaking shocked that it was in the fridge, since Saturday.
Yeah.
Only Monday.
Yeah, you can get a couple days out of a rotisserie chicken.
But I put in a little glass bowl, I put a little bit of water in it, I put it in the microwave. Oh my, it's so juicy still.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, rotisserie chicken sandwich, sadly not on this list.
How many are there?
7.
7, okay. No rotisserie.
No rotisserie chicken. Nope.
What a drag.
First one, I know this is a favorite of yours. It's the BLT.
I love a good BLT. Goddamn, bacon hits a spot. Pair it with some juicy tomato, some iceberg crisp lettuce, mayo
on there. Yeah.
That's good shit. Man, I don't know if it's a top 3, though.
Made even better. You put some avocado on there, too. Oh, yeah, man.
I'm not disagreeing with that one. I'm going to put it number 4. Straight to the middle. Just dab middle.
Oof. Next up, Reuben.
Oh, I like a Reuben. Reuben's good. I'll put Reuben at number 5. Straight to the middle.
Next up, Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, dude. Cheesesteak is really close to a French dip, which is like my number 1. There might be grilled cheese on here, too. I love grilled cheese can hit the spot if done right. Cheesesteak goes to number 3.
All right. Next up, tuna salad.
6. There has to be something worse than that.
Next up here, we'll change the order a little bit up.
Oh, great.
What spots do you have left?
1, 2, and 7.
Ooh. Next up, Turkey Club.
I mean, dude, they're not going to do a thing where shit sandwiches on here, right? That's you can't eat that. That's not a sandwich. That's just a phrase. It's an insult.
Sandwich. No, it's not a real sandwich. Where's the Turkey Club going, Steve?
Who's doing this one?
The Scots.
I don't know. Turkey Club.
It's a safe pick.
I should have put cheesesteak higher. Turkey Club. Yeah, I'm not hating on that. I feel like there's gonna be something rude on here, especially because I'm gonna mix this up. Fuck it, I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say Turkey Club. I'll put number 2. God, this is terrible. Okay. This is awful. I should put that cheesesteak at number 1.
Next up, I know you like these. It's a peanut butter and jelly.
Damn. Oh, they're gonna screw me. They're gonna put French dip at 7 because I'm putting PB&J at number 1. Oh, dude, with some Fritos and some cold milk. Oh, that shit's good. Turn on Pluto TV.
Number 7 is the grilled cheese.
No, I thought it was going to be the shit sandwich.
Nope.
GC at number 7. What a drag. All right, well, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time. Oh, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.